And we're live. Hello. Welcome to the Developing Compassion for Your Cravings webinar slash hangout. I'm Olivia Lane Lovejoy, and I am a health coach and a blogger, and hopefully your friend. So thanks to everyone who's showing up from my newsletter, and then to any friends of people who are friends of the newsletter. Welcome. So I'm just going to jump into the content. So the basic idea of this webinar is just to give you an idea of why you have sugar cravings. That's the cravings that we're focusing on today. But actually, the content towards the end could apply to any type of cravings that you might have. So I am going to, if you're on my website, oliviacleansgreen.com /p/hangout.html, and you type any questions or comments in the chat box, then I will be able to see them. But if you're watching this later, you can always just shoot me an email with any questions, or I'll also be sending out to everyone who registered notes about the webinar, and also make them available on my free gifts page. So you have plenty of opportunity to review the content that I present here. So I don't know about you, but my favorite sweet growing up was cupcakes, and my favorite sweet now is cupcakes, and I even had a dog named Cupcakes. I am like cupcakes crazy. And the way that I feel when I eat, after I eat sugar, is really alive and happy, and maybe a little jumpy. And that feeling lasts for about 15 minutes. And then after that, I feel so spacey. Like, it's really hard for me to focus. I feel regretful, and I feel sad. So I used to eat a lot of sugar. Like I said, I loved cupcakes, but those weren't the only sweet things that I loved. Just to give you an example of like my old diet, and this is a diet that I was eating when I was around 22 years old. 22, 23, I guess 23. I was like living on my own, no roommates, no one to side-eye me for eating whatever junk food I wanted. So my basic diet was, for breakfast, I had what I thought was healthy. I had like, packaged cereal. For breakfast. Then I'd have my like Hobbit second breakfast when I got to the office, which was like coffee with sugar and sugary vegan dairy-free creamer, but it was loaded with sugar. Then I'd also maybe have like a little pastry item for lunch. And so lunch was around like noon. Then I'd have or kind of like a normal lunch, like a sandwich or something. But then later I'd have a snack, my mid-afternoon snack, like it was around 3 p.m. I'd have a piece of pie. I even got my old boss, like I was like, we need, for office morale, we need to have pie on Fridays. So we had like specific like pie Fridays, but every day of the week, whether or not it was sponsored by my boss, I was definitely eating a snack in the afternoon. I also I'd go home and I'd have like a normal dinner. I was vegan at the time, so it was mostly plant-based. But then I'd have dessert, which was usually like a big slice of cake or a pudding or something sweet. I always needed to have that. And then I'd go out, because I was young. I was 23. I'd be like in the club. So then, if you're out, you're drinking. So I'd have maybe I would have Greyhounds a lot, which, if you don't know, is a combination of vodka and grapefruit juice, which both of those things actually have a lot of sugar. And I'll talk a little bit about like hidden sugars and diets in your diet this in this webinar, so that way you'll have an understanding of like exactly how much sugar was in what I was eating in a day. But basically it was a lot. One of the things that I experienced was I would get sick all the time. Like I always had a cold. Like if I didn't have a cold, I was like recovering from one and I was about to get one. I pretty much had like I would maybe have like two colds each month, even when it wasn't cold season. And I, as a result of being sick so much, I often missed a lot of work, which wasn't which because I was working at the time. I didn't have a salary or like it ended up costing me a lot of money. I mean, sick to be sick that much, and but this continued. Eventually, one day I actually was on at work and I was really bored. So I just Googled like sugar, like how sugar affects your body. And I was really surprised to learn that a major side effect of sugar addiction is actually a compromised immune system. So that made sense that I was sick every single, a couple times every single month. And when I learned that, I was just like, oh my God, like I have to stop this because I'm tired of being sick all the time and losing this money. So through this awareness, I not only like gained information about how sugar was affecting my diet, I decided to take action based on that awareness. I learned where the sugars that I was eating, where they were hidden in foods that I was eating, and then I discovered like other foods that I could eat instead of those things. And just also just like to like I worked to have a greater understanding of like exactly where my cravings were coming from. And I learned that a lot of through like kind of like self, I guess you could say, more like increased self-awareness, especially, which was heightened because I wasn't like super jacked up on an emotional roller coaster from sugar. I was really able to reflect on what it really was that I was craving in my life. And so that's what so a lot of that information is what I'm going to share with you guys today. The reason why I used to call this workshop Sugar Blues, and then at one point I was calling it Sugar Craving Smackdown. And like both of those I feel are appropriate, but I feel I've renamed this workshop Developing Compassion for Your Cravings, because I really think that that gets to the root of it. Of the essence of like what I want to share with you guys today. Like I just want you to know like this isn't a workshop about like never eating sugar again. This isn't a workshop about the focuses on like like this isn't a workshop about never eating sugar again. This is a workshop really that's about being at choice with the foods that we eat, including sugar, and how we can have greater choice through awareness of our body's needs and of our emotional needs as well. So my intention of this workshop is to like really permanently change your relationship with sugar and like the way that you think about it. So in order for this to happen, I need you to be 100% here. I need you to listen. And even though we can't speak to each other directly one-on-one, especially if you're watching this in a replay, like I really need you to participate fully as if we were together, and participate as if your life depended on it. Because in a way, your life really does. Like the way that our life turns out will be completely different once we understand how to eat well and how the food that we're eating affects our body, because what we eat changes everything. Really, the food that we eat goes into our stomach, it's digested, it's absorbed into our cells, it becomes our cells, our blood, our cells, our tissue, our organs, and even our thoughts. Like think about it. You think completely differently when you've eaten broccoli versus when you've eaten two Hostess cupcakes. You know, we think differently when we drink coffee or alcohol, or when we eat sugar. And it's just a fact that you've probably noticed in your own life. So here's a chance to get a handle on what you eat and drink, and not through discipline, like, but just through understanding what causes those uncontrollable cravings, how and what you can do to reduce them naturally over time. So today I'm going to show you how to identify hidden sugars in your diet. Um, I'll help you to, and also help you to deconstruct and understand your sugar cravings. And I'll give you 5 easy tips for reducing your sugar consumption. So basically, sugar is not the problem, it's the solution. You know, like if you are having sugar cravings or any other craving, there's a reason why you chose to come to this workshop. And so through that craving, that desire for balance in your body, it's helping you to get information. So I'm just going to read to you guys some information about sugar consumption, just to give you an idea of the severity of this issue. The USDA recommendation for like the maximum amount of added sugar that a person could have in their diet in a day is 10 teaspoons. And the average American actually eats 30 teaspoons a day. So in 1689, like we were, before 1689, people were just getting sugar from natural things. Like you would go to a tree, you'd pick an apple, you'd eat it, yum, that's your sweet fix. You would eat berries, that was your sweet fix. I'm looking outside because I'm like, what would someone grab? I don't actually have an apple tree outside my house, so sadly. But anyway, we were getting most of our sugar sources from nature, and these kinds of sugars that are found in fruit and also in sweet vegetables like sweet potatoes, those are sugars that are really easy for our body to work with. If you think about it, just like basically everything that you're putting in your mouth and into your body, rubbing onto your skin, whatever, everything that you're coming in contact with is really something that you want to have nourish you. And through the wisdom of nature, we've been given opportunity to have sweet things in nature that are really appealing to us, because human beings naturally like sweet things that are also good for us. You know, like berries are high, and not only are they sweet, but they're high in antioxidants. That's just one example. So so things that are naturally sweet come with enzymes that help us to process it. They basically, like when you give your body natural sugars, it knows what to do with it. When you give your body sugar that doesn't come from nature, like processed sugar, which is what we started eating more of after 1689, that's when the first sugar mill, sugar processing plant was opened in America, in the colonies. We started adding processed sugar to our cereal, and then eventually it's in everything. At this point right now, refined sugar consumption is at 100 pounds a year. 100 pounds a year is how much sugar Americans are eating. And guess how many pounds of broccoli we eat? 8 pounds. So so yeah, there's a big difference. So so I already went over how we naturally love sweet things and how that's good for us, because natural sugars contain vitamins, minerals, enzymes, and protein, and they're whole. It takes longer for our bodies to break down the sugars that are in naturally occurring things, so we don't get that sugar, like that roller coaster, that sugar spike. Instead, it's just like, it's sort of like it's entered into our bloodstream evenly, so we're not like hangry. So those are the good sugars. So the bad sugars, like refined table sugar, they're extracted from sugarcane or beets. Um, and those are processed, so they lack the natural vitamins and mineral and fiber. They're not a whole food. So these things, it requires extra effort from our body in order to process them, in order to process refined sugar. We have to actually take from the vitamins, enzymes, and the minerals that are in our body already. They come from our cells, they're taken out so that our body can just even start to deal with it. So just going back to like how I had colds all the time, that can give you an idea of how because I was eating so much sugar and it was requiring me to take the few nutrients that I was actually getting from some of the food that I was eating, the few vegetables I was, I wasn't properly nourished, and just causing extra toll on my body. So like instead of nourishing our body, like I had it, processed sugar creates a deficiency. Processed sugar enters our bloodstream really quickly, and it causes those spikes. And that can result in fatigue. I was also tired a lot as well. So it can result in fatigue, depression, weariness, exhaustion. I heard someone make a really good analogy. They were like, you know how the Cookie Monster is like super joyful and he's like really adorable and happy and he's like eating cookies. Um, well, did you ever see Cookie Monster and the Grouch, Oscar the Grouch, in the same room? No, because maybe Oscar the Grouch is Cookie Monster after he's had a few too many cookies and he's on his down slope. Just saying. Maybe. So that's a good way to think about yourself. um, and so basically, so we're on that. So like when you have that sugar spike and then it goes down, really, you're that's like the loss of the energy. It was like spiked, it was burning, then it's like we're crashing. So oftentimes, like, you might have a sugary treat and then you spike, crash. So you have it, you spike, you crash. Then all of a sudden you have more cravings. So eating sugar can often cause cravings for sugar. Um, Lindsay. Um, so um, so so yeah, definitely having sugar, sugar craving is a way of your body asking for energy. That's one of the ways that it does. So that's why even eating a small amount of sugar can cause more sugar cravings. And one might say that it's just kind of like sugar is kind of like heroin or crack or something, in the sense that having some causes a craving for more. Obviously, I'm not saying that like you should do crack instead of having sugar or that they're equally bad. But another way that sugar is similar to a drug is that quitting sugar causes withdrawal symptoms like headaches, maybe fits of anger, and just general mood swings, cravings, fatigue, all that stuff. So today I have this awesome, I wish I could show you the doodles that I made on my notes, but anyway. So I'll just give you an idea of like some of the sugars that are hidden in foods. So everybody knows Cliff Bars. I hope Cliff Bars doesn't like get angry at me for mentioning them as an example. They're not like specifically like a horrible company or anything, but they've got some sugar. So one Cliff Bar contains, you're like, oh, I'm going out for a hike, doing some healthy activity, gonna have my Cliff Bar. That's 21 grams of sugar. And by the way, 4 grams of sugar equals 1 teaspoon. So just to give you an idea, 4 grams of sugar, 1 teaspoon. So Cliff Bar's got 21 grams. So that's like about 5, like one normal size Cliff Bar, you're having like 5 teaspoons sugar. Dunkin' Donuts chocolate glazed donut has 14 grams sugar. And here's something that a lot of people can identify with. You go into Starbucks, the middle of the afternoon, you're having that slump. You just need like a little pick me up, maybe something a little sweet, a little caffeine. So you get a frappuccino. So a frappuccino, let's see, what size is it? 16 frappuccino has 44 grams of sugar. So that's equivalent, and that's without the whipped cream or anything. So that is the equivalent of 3 glazed Dunkin' Donuts from um, 3 glazed Dunkin' Donuts, chocolate glazed Dunkin' Donuts. So it's kind of a lot. Um, Other places that there are hidden sugars that we normally think about as being healthy are yogurts. Um, so, like, unless the yogurt says unsweetened, or unless it says unsweetened, you can pretty much count on it having added sugar. So don't always just look for like vanilla and trust that that's like low sugar, because it's most likely not. You can just get unsweetened yogurt. I have to stop my phone from doing this. You can always get unsweetened yogurt and add your own fruit, like add some berries or something to it. Also, peanut butter. I don't even know why they do this, but a lot of peanut butters have added sugar, like Jiffy or something. But the teaspoon to gram conversion is very helpful, and do what I can. I was pretty amazed when I found out about that too, Lindsay. Um, so yeah, so let's see what else. We got like things like waffles; those are things to look out for. But I think that's kind of obvious. But I feel like yogurt, also granola, because people usually think like granola is like super helpful. When you get granola, look at the back of the ingredients. Like, you can see on the ingredients list, like, maybe sugar is like, it's like rolled oats. Next ingredient, sugar. Like, that'll give you an idea of like, if there's added sugar. Then you can also look up at the nutritional information and see how many grams of sugar are in there, and also check out the size of the portion, because oftentimes like the portion size on foods will be smaller than like the amount that an actual human being who's like hungry would eat. So um I will also say, like, things to look into would be pasta sauces. A lot of those often, or marinara sauces, those often have added sugar. Really, a lot of processed food usually has added sugar. It's not only is used because it's delicious and get people to buy it, but also sometimes it's also used as a way to somewhat like preserve foods. Okay, so I'm just gonna roll off, and when I send you guys a notes, I'll send you this list. I'll email you guys this list. But here's some of the many names of sugar: brown sugar, which we're used to; confectionate sugar, which basically like cornstarch and really finely ground sugar. Then there's corn syrups, dextrose or glucose, high fructose corn syrup. Then there's lactose, or any of the things ending in OSE, fructose, raw sugar. Then there's sugar alcohols called sorbitol. I'm reading this from a list because I don't remember these. But I just think of the etol as the suffix: sorbitol, mannitol, maltitol, xylitol. Then there's sucrose, table sugar, and turbinado sugar. Those are just some of the kinds of sugar. And so honey is on the list of sugars. Just to give you an idea, honey is sugar that's basically made from nectar that's gathered by bees. So it has honey contains fructose, glucose, um, maltose, and sucrose. So those are, it has sugars in it, but it also contains some enzymes. And a lot of people often say it's got enzymes and it's got also, it has these like added vitamins. But if you think about the amount of vitamins that are in there, it's like you really shouldn't be eating honey as like your primary source of vitamins. You should look to other foods. Like if you're gonna have honey, raw honey is good. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but I don't eat honey and think that it's like a health food because it's a healthier choice than versus like um, having corn syrup, but it's not necessarily the it's not necessarily doing your body any favors. And then there's the diet sodas and stuff like and the things that are in diet soda: aspartame, saccharin, sucralose. Those things are associated with crazy things. So these are things that are in those pink packets and the blue packets, yellow packets, artificial sweeteners. And I'll send you guys a list of this as well. But things that they're associated with are numbness and tinglingness of the extremities, menstrual cycle irregularities, joint pain, seizures, which is why they don't let pilots have like Diet Coke, blurred vision, hearing loss, headaches, slurred speech, and a lot of different things. So um, oftentimes when we think about artificial sweeteners, we may think of stevia, but stevia is actually extracted from a plant. It's produced from a plant, and you can get whole leaf stevia. So I wouldn't really put that under artificial sweeteners because it actually is from nature. And I don't like stevia, but if you like the way that it tastes, I think I would recommend that to people who are looking for like a sugar alternative. And they do have some that are flavored, so you can get like like the drops of the French vanilla. Now I'm going to go into understanding your body and why some of the cravings come up. Like obviously we went over like you craving sugar because it's a drug, but another thing we can think about, like where originally did the craving for sugar come from? Really, cravings can be a way. Oh, what are my thoughts about monk fruit? I've never had it. It might be tasty. If it's a fruit, it's probably really good. But I'm going to do more research and I'll get back to you. Yeah, I would be curious to try it because I've heard about it, but I've never tried it. Good question, Lindsay. So really cravings are come from our body's attempt to find balance. So this could be physical, this could be emotional. If we're looking at it from a diet stance, like maybe we're craving sugar because we're not, honestly, we're just like plain hungry. Sometimes you might need to eat more, but you think you can't. So then you like maybe have sweets. Monk fruit is in packets like stevia. Yeah, I don't know about it, but I will look into that and I'll get back to you, Lindsay, because I'm not sure. And maybe if anyone else is watching and you know about monk fruit, please tell Lindsay anything about it. But Lindsay, I promise I will check in with like some of my other like IIN classmates and find out, or Sarah and Peter, because they pretty much know like everything about that, about like any health packaged health things. Okay, so what else? So finding diet, like eating more, a lot of physical things could also be like dehydration. Definitely drinking enough water is super, super, super important. Like, okay, like if you don't listen to anything else I say during this webinar, like that's cool, but please just drink more water. It's going to just like change your life. And by more water, I mean, you're welcome. And by more water, I just mean like um, more water than you'd probably be like, oh, I'm not thirsty. But you should drink water anyway. Have some water. I'm just going to pause this webinar for a moment. And so we can all just like have a sip of water now. Okay, so get a water bottle, keep refilling it. It's awesome. Tap water, I mean, if you live in New York City, tap water is totally cool and clean there. I don't know what the conditions are everywhere people lived. I know Lindsay lives in Providence. Shout out to Providence. And when I lived there, I drank lots of tap water. I used a filter and everything's cool. I'm still alive and it's great. I feel like tap water, filter tap water is always going to be better than not drinking water. If you can't get to a filter but you're in America and there's water accessible, I think you should just drink it. Don't worry about it. Just drink your water. Stay calm and drink water. Oh, I should make a image with that. Okay. So also there can be hormonal reasons why we have cravings for sugar. There could be like a hormonal imbalance, and I already went over lack of nutrients. Also, certain lifestyle things can cause cravings. So you want to ask yourself, am I getting enough sleep? And like by sleep, like I don't even just mean like hours in bed. Like sometimes it can be like really the quality of sleep that's most important. Actually, quality is always better than quantity. So having really high quality sleep where you're like super well rested, doing a lot of restorative activities, even things that kind of like help you calm down uh, and rest, but they don't have to be active sleeping. Like meditation is something that can help you, like focused breathing. My friend Melissa, who's another IN grad, she has these Breathe on Purpose, and she can listen to it on SoundCloud, and I'll send that out in the notes. So um, writing this down so I remember to send you guys Melissa's stuff on Breathe on Purpose. And I'll send you guys some meditation stuff too, meditation resources as well. Sometimes it can be seasonal. Like I know for me myself personally, I have like most of my seasonal sugar cravings happen in the winter time. And that leads me into also sometimes it can be social, like a lot of times we just really want to connect with the people in our environment. And if they're eating sweets, we're going to want sweets too, like the holiday cookie exchange. So one way that I like to think about it is just like planning that. Like I know I'm going to go to this cookie party or I'm going to this party and I'm going to have like birthday party. Like I always have birthday cake. Like I know I'm going to have birthday cake. So then I think like, oh, I don't really like not in the mindset of a um a lack, like not being in the mindset of like there's not enough, because a lot of times like that can affect us in so many areas besides just like eating. You want to always like um do your best to be conscious of like what's my mindset, like abundance mindset, or am I in a lack mindset. So um um like knowing choosing the abundance of like not being tired, of not being sick, of being able to focus and get my work done. So that's why I'm choosing not to have this sweet now. And because I'm also focusing on taking care of myself through eating whole foods in abundance, unprocessed foods in abundance, naturally sweet things like sweet that I'll go into, and actually probably now is a good time. But really just taking care of yourself. and just to go more into that, like a lot of times cravings can come from the inside coming out. That's one of the terms that we like to call it at Institute for Integrative Nutrition. Just like desires that we have in our life, like maybe we're not feeling fulfilled spirit through in our relationships, spiritually, through work, maybe even physically. Maybe we're desiring more physical activity. Like a lot of times those can manifest themselves in the form of a craving for sugar. But really, that's only because we're reaching to sugar as a way to numb ourselves, um, and to put it. It's kind of like a band-aid put on this. On this real issue that's underground, or maybe it's like a socially acceptable way to deal with the cravings or the confusion or whatever and whatever's going on in our insides. Like I can say for myself, like personally, even not even thinking about sugar, but thinking about when I used to drink a lot, like a lot of, and again, it's like any addiction. I would use drinking as a way to not deal with the stuff that was going on inside. It was like socially acceptable way to um to deal with the inner drama, unresolved things, with the desires that I wanted, but I didn't really know how to articulate or how to like manifest for myself, or like even work on or deal with. you know Basically, like it's like, oh well, that's, there's happy hour, like that's like the easy, quote unquote, easier solution. um so there's that. Okay, and now back to curbing cravings through diet. So that really involves eating naturally sweet foods. So think about orange vegetables, sweet potatoes, carrots. Think about like red vegetables, sweet peppers, sweet red peppers. And you always want to make sure with those that you get organic, because they're like high on the toxins list. But I digress. Other red ones. I guess they're purple, but purple beets. Beets are very sweet. Think about fruit, bananas. Um, you know, Pineapple. Mm. So there's so many things that we can eat that are naturally sweet, and then as we cut back on the processed sugar, our bodies become more sensitive to the natural sweetness of things. So like right now, maybe you don't taste the sweetness, taste exactly how sweet a red pepper may be, but in a few, like for me, just thinking back to when I started cutting back sugar, um in my 20s, like I would say like maybe it was like a month or so, and then all of a sudden it was just like, whoa, grapes are like super next level. It's like they're so sweet. So it really doesn't take a long time for your body to adjust, because again, it's just returning to its natural state. It's not it's not going into some like crazy, like, oh, I'm better than everyone in the world. This, like, I'm supernatural. Like it's literally just going into like its natural balance. State, like how human beings naturally are. And they're like human beings naturally, when we're not surrounded by like processed chemically engineered foods, we're like, carrots are the bomb.gov. They're super sweet and delicious. So here are 5 easy ways to reduce sugar consumption. So I already talked about going over naturally sweet foods, choosing naturally sweet foods, but one thing you can do is swap sugar covered cereals with hot cereal that you can make at home, and then you can add spices like ginger, cinnamon, cardamom, nutmeg. Am I miss ginger, cinnamon, cardamom, nutmeg? I feel like there's another one, but those definitely are ones that I love. um, those are the ones that I really love. Anon, I'm glad that you let carrots are the bomb.gov because it's so true they are. And when you pack a lunch or make any meals, focus on whole grains, vegetables, and fruits. Like whole foods are like things that are going to fill you up, nourish you, so you're not hungry. You're not having like a sugar crash. The whole like your body's like digesting the food. It's enjoying everything that you've eaten. It's all natural. Your body's like, I can do something with this, and you're not like needing to go to Starbucks at 3 p.m. Instead, why not take one of your coworkers out with you and go for a walk around the block or something? Who knows? There's so many possibilities once you start changing your habits. Anything can happen. Things can get really wild. Okay, so let's see other suggestions. Replacing sugary sports drinks, soda, and juices with naturally sweetened water, herbal teas, or even like if you drink dairy, then you can have milk. If you don't drink dairy, then like an almond milk or something. I mean, I would suggest avoiding dairy, but I don't know you and I don't know what's going on with your body, so I can't tell you that specifically. But definitely, like I said, water. Everybody needs it. If plain water is too boring for you, definitely add some herbal teas to it. You can even have herbal tea. There's no rule that you can't have it chilled. So enjoy that. What else? You could put some fruit. Like I love slicing cucumber into my water. It's super yummy, and just you keep using the same cucumber like all day. Lemon. I even see people putting like berries and stuff into their water and like mulling it. So many options. So, and then you're staying hydrated because, like I said, actually, I'm not sure if I said this earlier, but a lot of times, like our body can misinterpret signal that says, like the brain signal that says, "Hey, I'm thirsty. Please give me something to drink." Sounds very similar to like sweet right now. It's like on a chemical level. So just being aware of that, like maybe reaching for water, waiting 15 minutes, and then seeing how you feel. So another suggestion is skipping ice cream and serve icy snacks. Like maybe you could freeze some grapes. I know people love that. Frozen grapes. I tried it. It wasn't my favorite. You know what I did like though? I like frozen bananas. Those are good. And I also like making a smoothie, which is really, it's kind of like a milkshake, but not exactly. You just put some fruit. I like to add a little bit of kale to it, but you would never know. Put some nut butter or soaked nuts, water, ice, or almond milk, whatever, and then you just blend it up. So good. Just Google like wholesome smoothies. Simple green smoothies. They have good ones. Good ideas for smoothies. Um, what else? Switch out candies, cookies, and cakes with wholesome snacks and fruit. So, one thing I'm going to say about snacks, like a great way to do these snacks is through having like a carb and a protein. So like apples and peanut butter, or cucumber slices and hummus, like yogurt and fruit, some other fruit, berries. So like one thing that was recommended, they say, these are notes from IIN, whole wheat crackers and cheese. Why not? But I would say probably like maybe cheese and some other vegetable slices. But that's just my opinion. Whatever you like, find out what you like and like maybe take notes. Like, how do you feel after after you do a specific thing for like a few days? Like, do you feel awesome? Then that's probably something that works well for you. If you feel like crap, then it's probably not ideal. So you just got to pay attention to yourself and your body. And Just again, I just want to go over like protein, the importance of protein. So whether you're getting that plant-based from nuts and beans and other things, like, or you're getting it from animal sources. Protein can really hence in your sugar cravings. I know it helped me a lot. Um, and drinking water. So please drink water. Water, 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 water. I'm gonna say it like a million times. Water. So here concludes this webinar. This is it. It's pretty much it. It's been great. Thank you, Lindsay and Anonymous9049. It's been nice knowing that you guys are here with me live, and it's nice knowing that this is being recorded and it will go on my YouTube channel, and that like whatever magical fairies may lead have led you who are watching this when it's not live to this webinar. Thank you for watching, and I'm glad that we're connected now. And I just want to take a moment to ask you now also, like, what did you learn about your relationship with sugar? If you guys want to click, like if you're actually participating, if you're here live, you can type that into the box. And also what I'm going to do is at some point, like probably, in a few minutes, I'm just going to actually stop recording, but I'll just like hang out in the comment box so that we can like have more of a back and forth. I'm looking at the box right now. I see your beautiful comments. So anyway, yeah, I would love to find out what you learned about sugar and about your relationship with sugar, and maybe one action step that you will commit to taking this week to feel a little bit more at choice with sugar and have more compassion and understanding about yourselves. I guess that was a lot of questions. So 2 questions. 2 questions I'm going to clear out. What's something that you learned today that's helping you have more compassion and understanding for your cravings? And then second question, what's something that you're willing to commit to do this week in order to feel healthier and achieve more balance with your diet in regards to sugar? Okay, so thank you. And I also want to invite you, if any of this thing clicked or you would like to hop on the phone and have information about sugar, I'm a health coach. I was trained in integrative nutrition. I love counseling people, which means listening to people's health and their bodies and connect with their intuition and their wisdom. And I just love, it's my favorite thing to do. I love having sessions with people, and I am offering everyone who attends this webinar, watching in the replay, or you're watching right now, you're invited to have a free sample session with me. You can, if you're basically anywhere, if you go to my website, definitely the page you can go to is oliviacleansgreen.com/p/hangout.html, and this will be in the notes too, so download the notes. You can you'll get a link where it says book a consultation, and you just put in the coupon code C, capital C, numeral 4, capital C, 1508. That stands for Compassion for Cravings 2015, month of August. C4C 1508. You just put that in as your coupon code, and you will have a free session with me, because oftentimes, like, it's so important to take action on the information. It's not just enough to know these facts about sugar, but it's really important to do something. And I think that by talking to someone about what you're going to do and and just going deeper into understanding what's going on, it can help you. And I would love to, if somehow we're here together for a reason. So I would love to be the one who supports you. So I'm going to turn off my camera, like the camera part of this webinar, but then I'm going to be in the comments. And I saw that Anon just posted something. So bye from the web and then from this webcast, but hello in the comment box. Okay, bye. Thank you for watching.